the NBA. But what Stephen A. did with him yesterday, and this feeds into a topic we have been debating here for some time now, and a lot of people have, because it's sports and that's what we do, and this is fun, right? This isn't we're not on a quest to figure out what kind of man Tyrese Halliburton is, right? Or what his character is all about. We are having fun debating, is he a superstar? Is he one of the greats in the NBA right now? And Magic nailed it. He said to Stephen A. Smith yesterday, a superstar is a player who can go on the road and sell out an arena. And that got me thinking. I took a look, right, at this, the stars right now, stars today, okay? Really part of the formula I used, and to use me and formula in the same sentence is scary, especially when I'm the one coming up with the formula. But hey, this is my formula, okay? My formula was, I based it off of, obviously, my experience as a basketball fan day to day, and also first team, second team, third team All-NBA, to give you an idea of like guys that are really impacting the league. I mean, the first, second, third team All-NBA, that stuff's a big deal, man. I don't need to tell you that. But it's so big it can actually lead into players' contracts, making them more money, right? So it is the gold standard as far as awards are concerned. And this year, let me just call it. Let me do that first, because I have a list down here. All-NBA 2025. Okay. So let's check it out. I want to go down this list, and these are the best players in the NBA right now. Who do I think could sell out arenas on the road? All right, 2025, 2024-25 Kia All-NBA first team. Okay, you ready? The first team. Oh, hold on. Gotcha. Okay. So here's the first team. Giannis. Okay, for sure. He sells out arenas on the road. Shai Gilgeous. I would say no. I'm sorry, you can get pissed. I would say no. Joker? Yeah, I think there's a novelty to Joker that people want to go see a guy that's that big, play that smart, and be that nimble, and pass the ball like he does. I would take Joker over SGA any day of the week as far as Magic's superstar definition. And then we get to two guys who I do not believe are guys on the road that sell it out. Donovan Mitchell, no. Jason Tatum, no. Again, I'm talking about like to sell out an arena, you got to be close to a household name. Somebody who I can say to my dad at the time when I was a kid, or someone who's casually involved in following the game of basketball, hey, this person is playing at the Spectrum tonight. You're like, when Michael Jordan came to Philly, it was like, I mean, and now I'm not breaking any news, but even when he was a young man, like everybody, you had to go see Michael Jordan. Allen Iverson was the same thing. You had to go see Allen Iverson. That is a superstar. Dr. J was the same thing. I think about when I was a kid growing up, Dr. J and Kareem, MJ was another one. I kind of forget Iverson's swan song, but these are guys who, when they retired, Larry Bird, I think his retirement was somewhat abrupt. We knew he was going to go down, but he didn't want to do like a victory tour. But those three guys that I mentioned, they were just amazing, right? And you talk about, selling out arenas on the road. You just couldn't wait to go see those guys. And the end of their career was indicative of how impactful they were. Because if you remember, Kareem goes on, and you probably don't, because I'm getting a little older here. Kareem goes on a whole tour around the NBA where he's getting motorcycles on. Like, that's a guy, you're selling out arenas on your goodbye tour, your farewell. Dr. J the same way. MJ the same way. Iverson, not so much, because he just sort of is, remember he went and played I think it was in Japan or Korea, and then he came back, or China. It was like, whatever. It was not the best end to a career. Sometimes that happens, right? But certain guys really get to ride off into the sunset. And I think when you go around the country and different arenas honor you and it's sold out because they want to say goodbye, that's an indicator. Back to the current state, because I will get to some of the older players too. It's sort of revealing how great players, some of the best ever, maybe aren't draws on the road. In my opinion. Right now, Jalen Brunson is not a draw on the road. People do not go to see Jalen Brunson when the Knicks are in town. It's not like we got to go see Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry, they don't. Steph Curry, by the way, this is the All-NBA second team. I apologize for that. So this is the NBA's all-second team. Steph Curry, yeah, everybody goes to see Steph. And it's a combination of who he is as a man. He's undersized, the way he plays. He really ushered in a whole new type of basketball player and excitement around the game. No question about him. All-NBA second team, Anthony Edwards. I'll say, yeah, people go to see Anthony Edwards. That's whether he wants to be the face of the league or not, whatever. Yeah, Anthony Edwards. Also, LeBron James, of course, right? We just got to keep him healthy or off the load management pill so we can see him play. But LeBron, people will go to an arena just to look at LeBron. It's like Charles Barkley said about Michael Jordan when the two were friendly. I'm sure they're still friendly, but they're not friends anymore, at least as far as we know. But he used to go places with Michael, and he said it was like Michael was the only person who people would just crowd around just to watch him do nothing. I think LeBron has some of that too. Let's go to the third team. Again, this is the NBA's best right now. Cade Cunningham, no. Tyrese Halliburton, sorry, no. People are not going to see Tyrese Halliburton on the road. It's not an appointment, right? James Harden, I can't believe he's still All-NBA, third team. You got to give the dude props. I don't think people go to see James Harden on the road anymore. I think they did for sure. Karl Anthony Towns is on this list as third-team All-NBA. I say no for him. Jalen Wilson's on the list. I say no for him. Okay, so those are all on the Magic Johnson scale. And if you're just joining us or you just walked into the room, Magic Johnson's scale is as to what you have to get over, or the scale you have to, how he scales it, is you have to sell out on the road to be a superstar. So I just went down that list of who can. All right, other guys that are great right now that weren't on that list. A couple guys were getting votes. Devin Booker. That's close. I think he's a guy people do go to see on the road. I believe that. Anybody that follows basketball, Devin Booker can explode for 50 points at any night. He's undersized. You get Steph vibes. I would say Devin Booker over Tyrese Halliburton. Sorry, Scotty Swingler. Scotty is not with us right now, so I can get away with all this without being attacked verbally, of course. And Scotty doesn't attack, but boy, he's got opinions, doesn't he? That's Scotty Swingler. You give him 1 week on the show with Zach when I'm gone, and all of a sudden he's in charge. But hey, what are you going to do? Guy works hard. Trae Young is another one. I think he's annoying. I think there was a point in time where he sold out arenas on the road. I think that time has come and gone. And it was a short window for him, but there was a window when Trae Young was indeed a superstar. All right, here's where it gets interesting. I want to go into the greats of all time. Guys that sold out arenas on the road. Shaq, yes. And this is like, basically I'm pulling this again. This is like, and I'm not doing an order of that, and nobody cares enough. But, I basically looked at some of the best basketball players of all time, in my opinion. And I put them down here, and in my lifetime too, because that's how I can kind of pull my information or my opinions from that. Shaq, yes, of course. Allen Iverson, I said him, of course. Dr. J, of course. Kobe, of course. Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, I'll say he was, for sure. KD, still active, and still does sell him out. Oscar Robertson, I was not alive when he was playing. Maybe I was at the tail end. I believe he was. He is a guy that I reserve the right to weigh in on. One of the first, because I know enough about his career. One of the first big guards in the NBA, like Kobe before Kobe, like size-wise, sort of. Guy was a triple-double machine. That's impressive. Jerry West was another guy. Let's cross him off a list. I say yes. Jerry West sold out arenas wherever he played. He got the guy's the logo, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I saw him play every game. KG, obviously, yes. Dirk, yes. Barkley, yes. Chris Mullin, yes. Because Chris Mullin was such a prolific passer too. Isaiah Thomas, Yes, I think that Isaiah sold out on the road because of how much people hated him. You could even say maybe like Bill Laimbeer helped into that, but Isaiah was the face of the Bad Boys, and it was all him. Kareem, yeah, I think Kareem was certainly a novelty as far as you got to go see him. This is an interesting guy, and I think that sort of Kareem was so dominant in college that sometimes, it's sort of like LeBron as a teenager. Like we've been on this ride with LeBron since, 2000, 2001, 2002, when we were told he was this, this next coming. And he has proven to be that. And then, of course, Wilt, yes, but I wasn't around for that. And Larry Bird, yes. Here are two big ones these are two of the best players of all time. And this is like an asterisk category, who I do not believe at all sold out on the road. And I could be wrong. But they're two big men from the ultimate team situations. Bill Russell, okay, and Tim Duncan. Now, again, Tim Duncan doesn't care what you think of his repertoire as a player and how exciting he is. Bill Russell is dead and gone, but prior to that, he made it very clear he did not care at all what people thought because he was a winner. But I grew up in the Tim Duncan era. I never, ever, when he was at Wake Forest, I remember I was at Richmond. We played them in hoops. They would beat us down, right? But he was just awesome. But there was nothing about him, like he wasn't box office, And Bill Russell, again, I didn't watch him play. I think that was more about the Celtics. People were reverent of the Celtics. People wanted to see that team play. So he was maybe the head of the snake, and I could be wrong on that one. But I